Good morning to you all, my dear old things. Where I am, I can tell you the clothes you need are thick cords and probably a fairly substantial jersey. So all you Peter Christian fans, you'll be looking for that in all the wonderful website catalogues you can see of Peter Christian. Bung in your order and you'll get, I know, a massive discount and we'll all be happy. And there are many other things besides cords and jerseys too, I can promise you. Now, cricket. We've been saved by Yorkshire, haven't we? That marvellous pairing of Brook and Root have put on 154 runs in just 193 balls at the Sydney Cricket Ground to take England to 211 for 3. It has been magnificent. But the start was not good. Stokes won his fourth toss in the series, which really is a remarkable level of going, isn't it? He guessed right because, of course, Smith will have spun the coin and put England decided to bat. It was thank goodness, an easy-paced, simple pitch. And after all the histrionics and the movement and everything else, the uneven bounce of Melbourne, it was a great relief. And I think it does look now, after day one, which was truncated by more than a whole session because they came off about a quarter of an hour before tea because of bad light, and then it began to rain. And although the umpires got a bit of stick from the crowd, as always happened, they decided not to resume, which means that 98 overs a day will be bowled with a ration for tomorrow and the remaining days, and play will start from here on in at 10 o'clock in the morning. So with any luck, no play will actually have been lost. Well, England batted and they made the usual sort of start. And in fact, I shouldn't say that, they made an unusual start. In the Duckett was in bouncing form. Hit 5 fours, he got to 27, and looked, suddenly we thought, well, is he going to play the sort of innings we know he's capable of? When, lo and behold, he had a bit of a nibble outside the off stump, one he should have left alone, but then Duckett doesn't like leaving balls alone, does he? And Carey doesn't miss that sort of nick, although he had to go down almost in front of first slip to take the catch. That was 35 for 1 and 27 to Duckett. And then Crawley and Bethel coming in 3 took the score to 51. When Crawley played a defensive stroke at Michael Nisa, and he played all round it and was a plum LBW. He appealed. There was a DRS, a referral, but it was going to hit the leg stump, and he was out. And that was 51 for 2. And then just 6 runs later at 57, Bethel had an attack of Duckettitis and nibbled at one he should have left alone. And outside the off stump off Boland, and was caught behind by Carey. And this brought in Harry Brook to join Joe Root. Well, Root had made a very, very strange start. It was as though he'd been struck down in recent days by a severe attack of Brookitis. He had a tremendous heave-ho at his first ball, and he got away with it. Actually, a heave-ho is not, or a yahoo, is not something you naturally associate with the classical stroke of Brook, but this was as near a yahoo as I've ever seen him play. Anyway, he quietened down and began to bat as only Root can. We had a very good, compact, orderly defence against bowlers that didn't look particularly threatening on this easy-paced pitch. And here we had 1 or 2 lovely strokes off the front foot through the covers, and all went pretty well. And Brook came in and looked as in control as ever Brook can look. There were 1 or 2 sort of iffy strokes. One, particularly when he got to 45, I remember him having a heave and on the leg side, and the ball went in the air and fell between the fielders running in from everywhere to catch it. They couldn't get to it, and he got away with it. There was one wonderful stroke when I think it was Nisa who bowled a little bit short to him. And no, it wasn't. It was Cameron Green, I'm sorry. And he'd had a high bouncer from Cameron Green and had hooked at that and got away with it. It went down, he went in the air, but dropped short of a fine leg. Then he had one that didn't get up. It got up about chest height, and he absolutely hammered it into the crowd, backward square leg for 6. It was a wonderful stroke. And that would have done England an awful lot of good. And so, really, Harry Brook was looking by the end of the day, really as though he was determined to go on and get a first 100 against Australia. And he's he's 79 now, so he's not all that far away, just 1 run short. And I'm sure, having batted as sensibly as he did today, he will continue in the same vein tomorrow and get that 100. And Joe Root, well, one always should guarantee when Root's in his 70s and not out that he'll go on and complete 3 figures. You felt when Root got to 20, this was a day he was going to get 100. The Australian bowling, as I say, not particularly dangerous, but then it was the sort of pitch where they missed their 2 main seamers. Pat Cummins, the captain, who played and bowled brilliantly too in the Adelaide Test match, he has got the last 2 Test matches off because his lower back strain he doesn't feel is quite right. And he was actually, you could see him in the Australian dressing room being photographed looking out of the window, sitting next to Andrew McDonald, the coach. And so he's very much playing a part in it all. And then, of course, Josh Hazlewood's been out the whole series with that hamstring he pulled in a Sheffield Shield game just before the series began. They missed him, and then Nathan Lyon was out of it. And Australia didn't play a spinner. The first time they've left a spinner out at Sydney since 1888. And that really is an extraordinary statistic, isn't it? And I know Webster, who's in the side, Bo Webster, is a sort of part-time off spinner, but it doesn't really count. And of course, England have not got a specialist spinner. They've only got Will Jacks, who's very much an occasional, as we saw in the last 2 Test matches. Anyway, it does look as though this match is going to go to the 5th day, and England might get enough runs to win it. If they did win it, will that be the reprieve for not only for Brendan McCullum, but also for Robert Key, the MD, the Managing Director of English Cricket, both of whose positions, I think, are in some considerable doubt after what happened in the first 3 Test matches, when you must remember, even if England do win this Test and come home 3-2, they lost the first three matches in a heap. They were absolutely outplayed, and we really mustn't forget that. And it was bad preparation, poor management, and we must, as I say, not forget that. But that is something we can discuss. We have plenty of time to discuss in the future. At the moment, isn't it lovely to be talking about cricket played in high heat in Sydney with the snow all around me here in Norfolk? It's absolutely lovely. I look at the snow on the table I've got beside me and behind me. So that's why I was saying that the Peter Christian fans must be ordering jerseys and heavy cords, because that is the order of the day. But like Sydney, we've got a wonderful clear sky, bright blue. It's absolutely lovely. Just a little bit nippy.